You know, man, you've heard the saying before, but it's no one else's fault. And I'm about to test your ego, so if you're willing to sit through it and actually listen to this and hear me out and explain why, because I just came to this realization. It's going to be a short video, but it is no one else's fault. Genuinely. Me growing up, my parents being divorced, to end up in me drinking, to end up in me partying, to end up in me having all these bad habits in my life, to try cover up pain in my life that I was actually inflicting on myself. It was no one else's fault. Watching my step-parents argue, watching my stepmom and mum argue and blame each other, it made me realize right in this very moment that it is no one else's fault. And every single solitary thing that you've witnessed growing up can be a lesson that you can use to get to where you want to go, to get you out of the pain of where you are right now. But the thing that we do is we blame it instead of taking accountability. We blame the thing that we witnessed growing up as to why we can't get to where we want to go. Deep down, subconsciously, in our subconscious mind, we have it there that we don't really like to think about, so we don't. You know what I'm talking about. That little mental knot in the back of your head telling you that you should go one way, but you don't, and you carry on going the same way. That could be drinking, that could be smoking weed, that could be party, that could be anything. Is that you know deep down that you can do something more with your life, but you aren't because you're blaming someone else, you're blaming your circumstances, you're blaming and putting your energy towards something else. And I say this because I did the exact same thing for years, right? But the one valuable lesson that I just learned about myself and about how it is my fault, how there's no point in blaming anyone else because that just takes your energy away, that takes the power that you have within you away, is that watching my stepmom, watching my mum argue constantly, time and time again, growing up, like little fucking puppets, saying, no, it was her fault. No, it was her fault. No, she did this. No, she did that. No, she did this. I don't actually give a fuck anymore. If either of them watch this, I don't actually care because I'm actually thankful for it. And here's why. Because it showed me that blaming other people, there is no point. There is no point. If someone, for example, accidentally, like traffic slow to work, right? For example, we'll use that. You're on your way to work, traffic's slow, and you end up running late. Very, very easy to subconsciously for us to go, fuck, I'm late, traffic's terrible, traffic's terrible, traffic's terrible. It's all the traffic's fault. When we know deep down that we're just angry at ourselves that we didn't leave early enough to be there on time. Right? And I say this because that's just a very generic, simple experience that I've done before. You know what it's like when you're on your way to work, you're like, fuck this person, he cut me off, oh, I'm running late, sort of thing. Right? Reality is, we know that we overslept. We know that we could have left earlier. We know that we could have been there on time. But it is so much damn easier just to blame other things. But the thing that I need you to understand is when we start to blame other things, when we start to blame other factors for the pain that's being inflicted on our own lives, that's actually our own fault. Instead of using them as fuel, instead of using them as a way to escape from where we are right now, the pain that we're actually going through right now, instead of using them as a way to get out, we use them as a way, as a reason why we should stay exactly where we are, why we should be where we are in our lives. Our parents, what we were told growing up, all the experiences from our teachers, from our schools, from universities, things like that, things that we've heard time and time again, we use them as reasons as to why we can't. And I tell you this because it's so whole in my heart and I didn't understand it until now, but it's bullshit. We should use it as the reason as to why we can. For so long, I didn't think that I wanted a family. For so long, I didn't think that I wanted children. For so long that I didn't think that I deserved to be anything worth in this world because I was blaming my parents and what they went through and their experiences, what I watched on them as to why I didn't want a family, as to why I couldn't be better, as to why I couldn't do something more with my life for so damn fucking long. And reality is that manifested into my life where I ended up failing college, where I ended up doing these things when reality is, if I just realized that putting the blame on myself and actually using them as a tool, using them as an example that I do not want to be like, is exactly what will get you out of where you are. So your boss, for example, if you don't like your job, this is just another generic example. If you don't like your job, guess what, man? It's your choice that you work there. It's your choice the bills that you have in your life. It's your choice that you chose the life that you live. Right? Yes, our experiences from when we were a kid play a part in the choices that we make when we get to being an adult. In fact, it pretty much makes all of them. But I tell you this because it gives you the opportunity that you can change. You can change the habits that you have right now. You can change the pain instead of using it as a reason to be stuck where you are. Instead of thinking, oh, well, I'll just ask my parents. I'll just ask my dad, or my dad would have done this, or my mum would have done this, or I experienced this as a kid. Subconsciously think, well, no, I experienced this, so I want to do something different. That's why now I want to have a beautiful family. That's why now I don't drink. That's why now I don't smoke weed. That's why now I've given up all these bad habits, because it all comes in the mind from when we were growing up as kids. It all comes in our mind through experiences, through things that we actually make up as well. A lot of the shit that we have in our heads, we make up. And then we manifest more and more and more and more in our own heads as to why we can't get out from where we are. It's 100% bullshit. You trying to blame other people for where you are, for your one life, is the dumbest shit that I've ever done. And it's something that I struggled with for so goddamn long. And the moment that I realized this, the moment that I started to take control back, that's what working out did. Right? That's what working out did. I watched him real time. So my dad, he was fat, right? Love him to pieces, but he was fat. And I was just like, oh, well, I never really cared about my appearance. I never really cared about the way I looked, because I always just thought, oh, no one actually really cares. And it wasn't until I realized, I put two and two together, I was like, well, he doesn't have the woman that I would want. He didn't have the family that I would want. He doesn't have the physique that I would want. And I love him to pieces again, right? He's got the work ethic, he's got all of that as well. But there's so many good things about him that I would like. But he doesn't have the family that I want. He definitely doesn't have the woman that I want. He definitely didn't have the family that I want. So I went and changed myself. I went and built the physique. I went and built my mindset. I went and changed my habits and realized one day that I don't have to live a life like he did. I don't have to blame him. I don't have to blame my stepmom. I don't have to blame my mum for them constantly arguing in my life for the way that I am now. I don't have to live a life like that. I can have the beautiful family. I can have the physique. I can have the business as well, which is one thing that my father does have. Right? You can take the good from the people that you look up to and then get rid of the bad, or use the pain that it inflicted on you growing up as a way out, as a choice to do something different. Man, you don't have to live a life like they did. You have the power of choice. But the moment that you give other people your energy, the other people your time, other people your thought power, you're fucked. You are genuinely fucked. And I say this because I was fucked for so long, hiding behind vices, using them as pain, using them to actually cover up my pain in my life that I didn't even realize that I had from when I was growing up. And it wasn't until I realized that I don't have to live a life like that. I don't need to blame anyone else. It's my fault for being exactly where I am, not theirs, not my bosses, not my parents, not my teachers, none of them. It was mine. We're growing fucking men. Seriously, dude. We are growing men. We have the power of choice. The moment that I did that, within 8 months, lost 40 pounds, moved overseas alone to pursue entrepreneurship full time. Why? Because I know the choices that I make over the next 5 years will lead me to where I want to go, family-wise, financially-wise, freedom-wise, work ethic-wise. It takes time, but it's so damn worth it. There is no point in you blaming anyone else. I fucking promise you. And I wish I had this realization sooner. I'd be so much further ahead, but I'm glad I've had it now so I can pass it on to you. It comes down to your mindset, your habits, your nutrition, and your training. Envision the man that you want to become. Actually think about what you want to do with your life. No one else. No one else. Just you. Break down the habits that it actually takes to get there and replace the shit ones you've got with them. Use the pain that you're going through, the experiences that you've been through, everything that you've been through as fuel to get to where you want to go. In your nutrition, you gotta feel right, man. You have to. You have to fuel your body right. That falls under habits. Right? Once you start eating clean whole foods, I promise you, your life will change for fucking ever. For how good you actually feel. Then you got your training. You get to see the man that you become in the future. It's that damn simple. In real time, you get to see it every single solitary day. Mindset, envision who you want to become. Habits, break down that man. Nutrition, fuel that man. Training, become that man in real time. It's that damn simple. Stop blaming other people for your problems. It's all your fault. And I say this with a whole heart because I blame some people for so damn long. But use them as fucking fuel.